This Brewers-Phillies series is brought to you by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. Warm, a little humid tonight. It is a great night. No complaints from the Milwaukee Brewers clubhouse. They want this warm weather as they get set for a weekend series with the Philadelphia Phillies. It's a good series in two very good ball clubs. You thought the Brewers would be pretty good. The Phillies maybe have been one of the surprise teams, at least to this point, in the National League. 4 games above 500, a lot of young talent. And we will see which club gets back on track here tonight as both teams scuffling a little bit in the last week or so. Good evening from inside Citizens Bank Park alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Matt LePay. Sophia Minert is our reporter. A good matchup, good teams, almost a mirror image right now, Rock. They pitch well, both teams trying to find it again at the plate.
Yeah, struggling with men in scoring position in particular. And, you know, the Brewers have the 5th best earned run average in the National League. The Phillies just a little bit above them. Both of these guys have been throwing the baseball pretty well, but for the Phillies, the 3-7 road trip, they had an 0-for-17 stretch with runners in scoring position. Well, you don't have to tell the Brewers about that. They had an 0-for-16 in Chicago. So we'll see how things go. But you know, both of these offenses rely on the home run. The Brewers have hit a lot of them. The Phillies, they're kind of sneaky power. They got 3 guys you got to keep an eye on. But certainly, when you talk about pitching for the Phillies, very good as a starting unit. The Brewers have the best bullpen earned run average in all of baseball.
Which offense will get things straightened out? One thing we know, 2 good center fielders, Odubel Herrera and Lorenzo Cain. Brewers and the Phillies lineups. First pitch coming up on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by QB and Abraham. Voted best, rated best. QB and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. By Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Stop number 3 of yet another 3-city road trip for the Milwaukee Brewers, and looking to get things back on track after getting swept in the quick 2-gamer in Cleveland. A nice night for baseball here tonight. Cloudy sky, but we will stay dry, they tell us, as we get ready for the opener. It's like 25 degrees warmer than what the Brewers and Craig Counsell dealt with in the 2-game series in Cleveland. Cubs won earlier today, so the Brewers now mere percentage points back in the National League Central, but still a team that has traveled well overall. 19-14 and 37-25 so far this season. And we are going to check out the Brewers batting order here momentarily. But first, Rock, let us get to Pizza Ranch. Keys to the win here tonight.
The Phillies have been pretty good at home. They're 19-9, 10 games over 500, so it must be the cheesesteaks. I mean,
absolutely.
That's what you talk about when you get around here. We talked about when we came on the air, both of these teams scuffle a bit offensively, so who's going to get hot first? Got to get some offense going, and Jhoulys Chacín has been outstanding. His only loss came against the Cardinals back on April 4th, his second start of the year. He's been very consistent. He's got his earned run average all the way down to 339, a 4-1 record.
Yeah, this is a matchup of two pitchers, both of whom are rolling, with Chacín and Vincent Velasquez. This is it's a good matchup. As we said at the top, we knew the Brewers certainly had the makings of being a very good ball club. As for the Phillies, in a rebuild mode, Gabe Kapler in his first year as the manager here inherits a ball club that lost 96 times a season ago, looking for their first winning record since 2011 when they won 102 times. Were knocked out in the divisional round against the St. Louis Cardinals, and it has been a very rocky ride since, but showing signs they're straightening that out.
And they have some coaches that don't have any managerial experience, and he goes by the statistics. He's very much into the metrics of baseball, and I think he's softened a little bit with that. I think he understands that there's a human element to this game, and I think it's paid off. The Phillies are playing some pretty good baseball.
And Jhoulys Chacín getting ready for his start tonight. See if he can continue his role of late. He has been outstanding. For more on Chacín, let's send it down to the field as we check in with Sophia Minner.
Thanks, Matt. You're right. A look at Jhoulys Chacín. He's coming off of 5 2/3 shutout innings in his last start against the White Sox. Gave up just 3 hits, 5 strikeouts, and he has just been the model of consistency for this Brewers starting rotation. He has made every start so far this season. Over his last 10, he's been at his best. He's gone 4-0 with a 2.6 earned run average. And so for pitching coach Derek Johnson, it's a pretty simple formula, right? You know it's going to be fastball, slider, and the slider especially is a pitch that he goes to early and often, and if he's in any trouble in any count. But he said what makes it so effective, he said, it's just such a tough pitch to hit. Even when guys are looking for it, they're still not able to make great contact on it. And so that's really been a big part of his consistency and something that he wants to continue to build off of. We know just how consistent he's been, how well the team has performed in games that he starts.
Yeah, and Rock, to Sophia's point, these last 10 outings, teams have had all kinds of trouble making good contact against Chacín. Those numbers are of the eye-popping variety here in his last, so after those initial few starts for this year.
And again, he's been able to manage the pitch count much better, and able to pitch a little deeper into the games again, into the 6th inning. But the one statistic that you really want to look at, what does the team do when you're on the mound? The Brewers 10-3 when Jhoulys Chacín makes starts, so that's really all you need to know about his effectiveness this year.
All right, we are about set to go here in Philadelphia. Let's check out the Brewers batting order presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Lorenzo Cain and Christian Yelich 1-2 per usual. Jesus Aguilar continues to hit in the 3rd spot. Travis Shaw hits cleanup, followed by Ryan Braun, Jonathan Villar, Manny Pena, Orlando Arcia, and Jhoulys Chacín. Rounding out the Brew Crew batting order against the Phillies starter tonight, Vince Velasquez.
Hey, he's 4-6, but he's got a pretty good 382 earned run average. This is a guy that averages over 11 strikeouts per 9 innings. Outstanding work. His last 6 starts have been very good, to the tune of a 214 earned run average, making his 2nd career start against the Brewers. Hey, let's check out the Brewers, or I should say the Phillies defense. You got Nick Williams, Herrera, and Dylan Cousins in the outfield. You got Crawford, Kingery, Cesar Hernandez, and Carlos Santana from 3rd to 1st, and you got Jorge Alfaro, really good throwing catcher behind home plate.
Your umpires tonight, Brian O'Nora will call balls and strikes. The crew chief is over at first, Field and Colbreth, CB Buckner and Chris Conroy. Rounding out your umpires here tonight as we are ready to go. First of three, Brewers and the Philadelphia Phillies at Citizens Bank Park. And Kane, per usual, leading things off. And let's see if the Brew Crew can get that offense back the way it was going a good chunk of May as Velasquez begins tonight with a strike, and we are underway in Philly. Kane-Yelich combo continues to be very good for this team if you look at the entire body of work. Talked a lot about how the Brewers are scuffling, and a hard comebacker to Velasquez. There is out number one.
Velasquez, a hard thrower. He's cruising speed about 94, 95 miles an hour. He mixes it up very well. He's got a slider, a curveball. He'll mix in a changeup to left-handers, and as you can see, he's 6'3" and fields his position pretty well. Squares himself up, knocks it down, and gets the out.
Here's Christian Yelich. Mentioned that Kane-Yelich combo. Their on-base percentages well above the league average in the National League, and Yelich at .373. That's his on-base percentage. The league average for the second hitter in a batting order is .330 to this point in the NL. And Yelich will slap a ground ball to Cesar Hernandez. 2 up and 2 down here in the first. Phillies very happy to be home. A 3-7 road trip. Split with the Dodgers. They scored all of 1 run, being swept against the Giants, and then dropped 2 out of 3 to the Cubs. One of those in heartbreaking fashion. The walk-off slam off the bat of Jason Hayward. 2 outs, bases empty for Jesus Aguilar. The Cubs beating the Pirates this afternoon at Wrigley Field, so it's a 3 percentage point lead for the Cubs as the Brewers enter play tonight. Cubs 36-24, the Brewers 37-25. Tall order for the Crew. It has yet to have a sub 500 road trip, but they will need to sweep here to break even in this 8-game swing. But it speaks volumes that it has gone this long without Council's team suffering more losses than wins on a trip. This being the third 3-city trip here for the Brewers.
Yeah, the Brewers are going to be rewarded after this series in Philadelphia with some home cooking. They're going to be home quite a bit. Yeah, 2 week-long homestands, and in between only a 3-game road trip. Brewers are going to enjoy that.
Phillies will be home more often than not as well in the next week and a half or so, where they are 19-9 so far this year. They have protected the home park very well. 3 balls, 1 strike to Jesus Aguilar. Continues to hit third. He did when Ryan Braun was on the disabled list, and when Ronnie came off. With an exception or 2, it has been Aguilar hitting third and Braun in the 5th spot. And that is the case here tonight.
Well, Craig Counsell sticking with Aguilar, although he has had a kind of a rough road trip. I mean, he's not alone in that regard. The Brewers, as we talked about when he came on the air, have had a difficult time putting runs on the board.
A 2-out walk to Aguilar here in the first inning, and Travis Shaw steps to the plate. Home run number 14 coming Tuesday night in Cleveland against Cody Allen. That pulled the Brewers to within a run, but that was as close as they got. 2 very well pitched games, both sides, 3-2 and 3-1 in Cleveland. We certainly can talk, and we have, about the Brewers scuffles, but Cleveland wasn't tearing the cover off the ball either. Some good outings both ways.
Yeah, those 2 starters that the Brewers had to face, and Kluber and Carrasco, and no day at the beach.
4 meetings with the Indians, 2 apiece with Kluber and Carlos Carrasco. That's sometimes you need a break in this game, and they didn't get one, the Brewers, in terms of who they drew for the opposing pitching matchups.
And this starting rotation is pretty good. Velasquez, good numbers. You got Arrieta tomorrow.
Arrieta off to a very good start with the Phillies, and there you see these starters, and it's been good all around here for the Phillies. Velasquez with that 382 earned run average, but it has been a much better slate for him his last half dozen starts. 2 balls, 1 strike to Travis Shaw.
Man, lost a tough one his last time out against the Giants. 6 1/3, 1 run, and a 2-0 loss. That's a hang with him.
The Phillies, we mentioned in that series last weekend in San Francisco, the 1 run they scored was a Jake Arrieta home run. 2 balls, 1 strike with Aguilar the runner at first. .14 homers, 38 RBIs for Shaw, leads this Brewers team, both categories. Here's the 2-1 pitch.
As you mentioned, he mixes his pitches pretty well. He's got a good lively fastball. That slider's a good pitch. He'll throw some changes to lefties, not so much against right-handers. That's more the slider curveball combination.
Hitters count for Shaw. Takes a good hack at a pitch up in the zone, full count.
Yeah, up and in. They wanted it away, but a good miss by Velasquez. You get that down and in. A little different result for Travis Shaw.
Aguilar will be on the move. 3-2 pitch coming up to Shaw here in the first inning. First baseman Carlos Santana was sneaking up behind Aguilar, keeping him close. Santana, an acquisition from the Indians. About the young talents in this Philadelphia roster, but get a veteran bat with Santana.
Aguilar giving him a hard time. Said, "What are you doing to me? I'm not gonna, I don't run. I'm gonna run now, but give me a break." Man, he's still wearing him out.
Every time I hear see Jesus talking to anybody, it just goes back to what Counsell was talking about in Colorado a few weeks ago when Aguilar got his start at third. And Craig's one concern was that Aguilar and Arcia would spend all their time talking to one another and maybe miss what's going on.
Not pay attention.
Here's the payoff. And we will do it again. Shaw's been on a pretty good run here these last 3+ weeks, 24 games specifically, where he's hit .291. 7 of his 14 home runs coming in that stretch, and half of his RBI total of 38 coming in that span. Consistent.
Yeah, consistent and plays every day. Defense has been solid. They hit a home run in that first game in Cleveland. Brewers have 6 home runs on the trip, 4 of them in one game. That was the game they won 5-0.
Yeah, the 3 solo shots and then the 2-run home run from Aguilar. It was a series where the Brewers were unable to get a hit with runners in scoring position. The Phillies had such a series on their just completed road trip. Again, the 3-2. Back-to-back 2-out walks extends this opening inning for Milwaukee. You mentioned Shaw's been hot of late. And this Philadelphia Phillies organization, another club that Ryan Braun just lights up. His career numbers very, very good against the Phillies, as you see.
We had 22 home runs in 66 games. He had a 3-homer game here. This is a very good hitting ballpark. I mean, that ball flies out of here. The dimensions, if you keep them, away from the center of the field, you stay away from gap to gap. I mean, you can get some down the lines here. And Ryan Braun has taken advantage of that in a big way in his career.
Well, to the point of what Braun has done against this Phillies team. He hits this group better than anyone. And let's face it, he hits a whole lot of teams really well in his career. Take you deep here or head home. And knowing all of that, it has led to a mound visit, first of the night here in the first inning of the night.
Our buddy Rick Kranitz, pitching coach here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, the former Brewers pitching coach, originally was the bullpen coach here for a couple years in Philly, but with the change, he's the pitching coach, and the numbers would suggest things have worked out very well for Kranitz.
Yeah, Bob McClure was pitching coach here for many years. Former Brewer.
So here is Ryan Braun with 2 on and 2 outs in the first inning. Velasquez, after retiring Kane and Yelich, needing just 4 pitches to get 2 outs. He has walked Aguilar and Travis Shaw and has just delivered ball 1 to Ryan Braun. Evens a count, a ball, a strike. Last year Velasquez was 2-7. His ERA was more than 5, and command was an issue at times. Walked more than 4 per 9. He has knocked that number down. He's 3 per 9 so far this year.
Yeah, fewer hits than innings pitched so far. It's always a good statistic. Anytime you have fewer hits than innings pitched, that's considered to be very good.
Here's the 1-1 to Braun. Breaking ball is fouled off. And you mentioned the strikeout totals at the top, what Velasquez is doing. Brewers were striking out often on Wednesday afternoon against Carrasco, and then the Indians bullpen as well. Six homers, 24 RBIs for Braun coming into tonight's game. And the count is 2-2.
A big difference in velocity for Velasquez on his fastball and slider. I mean, a lot more of a difference than you would expect from most pitchers. I mean, fastball 94, 95, slider 84, 85 miles an hour. That's a big difference.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Waiting for that real hot streak here for Ryan Braun. To be fair, he had a stretch where he really hit into some tough luck. He was barreling up on a number of baseballs, but hitting it right at someone. Find the answer is a huge shot in the arm to this offense. And that is hit well into left field. Thank you very much. 3-run laser off the bat of Ryan Braun, and that opens the scoring tonight.
Yeah, that was a big time hanger right there. Hanging curveball, and that's a no-no to Ryan Braun. Wow. 2 outs, nobody on, back-to-back walks, and a bullet out of here, giving the Brewers a 3-0 lead. Boy, do they need that. Man, check it out. It's got "hit me" written all over it. Up in the zone, out over the plate, and a rocket out of here. It didn't take long. 79 miles an hour, and you can't hit him any better than that.
109 miles per hour off of Braun's bat. Here's the Brewers' early 3-0 lead. I like the old 3 runs on 1 hit. Inning continues for Jonathan VR. And Santana will handle this, and that will do it for the Brewers in the first. But a good start for Milwaukee here in Philadelphia, as Braun goes deep after back-to-back walks to Aguilar and Shaw. Home run number 7. 27 RBIs for Braun. 3-0 Milwaukee. For the Brewers as he continues his excellence against the Philadelphia Phillies. Gabe Kapler in his first year, the one-time Brewer. First year as the Phillies manager. Let's check out the Phillies batting order presented by Potawatomi. Cesar Hernandez, Odubel Herrera, Scott Kingery at the top. Santana, Williams, and Jorge Alfaro, 4, 5, and 6. J.P. Crawford, Dylan Cousins, and Vince Velasquez. Rounding out the Phillies batting order as Yolis Chacin gets ready to work. Outside for ball 1.
Yeah, the Brewers are 10-3, and Chacin's 13 starts this year. He's 4-1, earned an average all the way down to 339.
And he lays one down, and that is going to stop right on the line. You couldn't lay it down any better. Bunt single for Hernandez to open up the bottom of the first.
Well, that's what you do when your offense has been scuffling. Figure out a way to get on base. And perfect bunt, stopped right on the line. Yeah, even with Shaw playing in here with the bag, he swung way around toward the gap and just kind of drops into that gully. Just sticks right there. Yep, any part of the ball touching any part of the line. And you can see it did stay fair.
And nothing Travis could do but smile. That's the 5th bunt single for Cesar Hernandez this season. He's been good at the top of the order. 370 on base percentage, among other things that he does at the top of Gabe Kapler's batting order. Here's Odubel Herrera, the center fielder. 26-year-old, a Rule 5 pick. Back in 2014 from the Rangers. He has been a big addition to this Phillies ball club.
Yeah, very unorthodox batting style, but it works for him. You can see his numbers against Milwaukee. Big time production.
Yeah, both he and Maikel Franco, who is not in the lineup tonight, those two have had a lot of success against Brewers pitching. Herrera, one of many in this Phillies batting order, trying to get things on track, and he's in the right ballpark to do it, as you see his home road splits.
Yeah, Phillies pretty good here at home, 19-9. And Herrera, not only the batting average, but pretty decent power.
He's hitting just 197 over his last 19 games, however, but still sports a .305 batting average as he pops this one up. Early opportunity for Orlando Arcia, and there's out number one.
Well, the defense for the Brew Crew has been much better. It's still pretty good on this road trip. Braun, Kane, Yelich in the outfield, covering a lot of ground out there in the outfield. Shaw, Arcia on the left, VR, Aguilar on the right, and Manny Pena behind home plate. We have two very good throwing catchers in this game. And Manny Pena, you know about him, but Alfaro has got a rocket behind home plate.
Yeah, he gets it down to second as fast as anyone, faster than anyone actually this season. And well, Manny Pena for a time had the best pop time up until very recently. Here's the shortstop, Scott Kingery.
The Phillies aren't a big running team, but Hernandez has 10. Got to keep an eye on him.
And he's been caught just twice. You see the rookie. He can play just about everywhere. He's the shortstop for now for this Phillies ball club. JP Crawford, their very highly touted prospect, just now off the disabled list. He's the third baseman here tonight. Find a way to make it work on the left side of the infield, according to Kapler, with Kingery, Crawford, and still get Franco his at bats as well.
Yeah, offense trying to, still trying to find its stride, but the Phillies are where they're at. And they have that record over 500, surprising everybody because of their pitching. Starting pitching in particular.
It was a rugged start for Kapler here in Philadelphia. Never good to be booed in your home opener, but he was. But things have stabilized, the road trip notwithstanding, where they dropped 7 out of 10. Has the makings of being a good ball club for a while. Talked about the utility nature of Kingery. His first 20 games with the Phillies, he played 6 different spots. A ball, 2 strikes with Hernandez the runner at first. College ball at the University of Arizona, a second-round pick by the Phillies in 2015. The comparables are interesting. Some compare him a little bit to Dustin Pedroia, a little more power than you think. Others comp him to Ben Zobrist because of all the versatility that he has. I would imagine right now he's just trying to be Scott Kingery,
right,
and carving his own niche in the big leagues.
Yeah, that's a little pressure on him to be compared to Pedroia. But we get it. Not a big guy. He's got a little bit of pop in his bat. He will at some point.
And another of this organization's very highly regarded prospects now getting his chance in the big leagues. Here's the 2-2. Hit in the air, down the line in right field in foul territory, but beyond the reach of VR.
Yeah, there's a little bit of room in foul territory here. A little more than a lot of ballparks. And you're going to see Jonathan VR and Arcia roaming foul ground quite a bit in this 3-game series. Those two are just the guys that get it done.
You might see some very entertaining defensive plays from those guys. But Arcia runs all over the ballpark anyway. Has more room to roam here.
There's a lot of room for Lorenzo Cain to cover out here in this ballpark.
2-2 pitch. Hit in the air to shallow left field. Ryan Braun will call for it for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, that's the pitch that has been the difference maker as of late for Yoeli Chassin. That breaking pitch, he'll throw it, look like a slider one time, a curveball another time, which makes it very difficult on the hitter. There's your curveball that time, and they had Kingery out in front of it.
2 men out with Cesar Hernandez the runner at first, and now the cleanup hitter Carlos Santana. Free agent signing back in December, 3-year deal. Some pretty good power numbers last couple of years with the Indians. It was an interesting move and maybe suggested that the Phillies are a little closer than most outsiders thought going into the year with all the prospects that they were working through the minor league system. Get a veteran in Santana. And he takes a strike on the outside edge.
Yeah, kind of a guy that a lot of these young hitters can look to. A guy that's had some success in the big leagues, a switch hitter. Kind of help him along a little bit.
He's always been a good on-base guy. In addition to the home run power, 23 last year and 34 the year before with the Indians. A bunt single from Cesar Hernandez opened the inning. A pop-up from Herrera, a fly ball from Kingery. That's hit in the air to right center field. Long run, Kane, not an issue. Again gets the jump and hauls it down shy of the warning track. And we are through one. Brewers the early lead.
Set for next Friday, June 15th. The Brewers host these Phillies at Miller Park, and all 5 county residents save 50% on tickets. To book your seats, go to brewers.com/5county.
Those two guys like what they see so far. Brewers with a 3-run first, courtesy of a Ryan Braun 2-out homer. 7, 8, and 9 here for Milwaukee in the second inning, as Manny Pena will lead things off against Vince Velasquez. A little interesting, the Phillies, we've talked about how well they play at home, how well they have pitched collectively, but Velasquez, his home ERA is 5.40. A rough first inning after retiring Kane and Yelich. And Pena sends one into right center field. Herrera going back, and that's off the wall. Manny Pena with a double to begin the second inning.
Man, fastball doesn't have a whole lot on it here. I mean, he started out the first inning, 94, 95. Yeah, last few fastballs have been in the low 90s. Look at Manny Pena is able to drive that one to the opposite field. Deep part of the ballpark out there. And straightaway center is 401, and tucked in the corners you got 409 out there, and that's a long ways out there for a ball to stay in the ballpark.
Well, the Brewers trying to inflict a little more damage here on Velasquez as Orlando Arcia settles in. The last 4 starts for Velasquez, he allowed just 5 runs. 3 already tonight, and a runner in scoring position in the second inning.
Yeah, last 6 for Velasquez, a 214 earned run average. I told you how good he was his last time out in the loss against the Giants.
It pops out of the mid of Alfaro, and on to third is Pena. He's there.
Man, that's going to be a pass ball right there. I'll tell you, the catchers for the Phillies have had their problems. They have committed 11 errors this year. 11. He just got handcuffed right there. Ball gets away, and Manny able to get to third base. They've had their issues with catcher's interference. Had 2 of them against the Cubs in one game. But 11 errors from your catchers, that is a ton of errors.
Yeah, 5 for Alfaro, 6 for Knapp, Andrew Knapp. But yeah, that's a stunning total right now as we sit here in early June.
I mean, there's catchers that go through the year without any.
So Pena at third, nobody out here in the second inning.
Yeah, that one hurt. He got handcuffed. He kind of caught it the wrong way, and sometimes you do that, it hits the thumb the wrong way, and you get that jam. A little movement he wasn't expecting, and just wasn't able to keep it in the glove, and Pena able to get to third base.
A ball, no strikes to Arcia. Phillies pulling the infield in the second inning. And Arcia takes advantage as he shoots one past Kingery for a run-scoring single, and it's 4-0 Milwaukee.
Yeah, good piece of hitting by Orlando, taking it right back through the middle. Just not a whole lot on the pitches right now for Velasquez. Check it out. There's that pitch here, the slider, 85 miles an hour, just kind of bending in there. Doesn't have that crisp, sharp break to it like he normally does. And the Brewers extend their lead.
Here's Yolis Chassin. Try to move Arcia up. Pulls back and takes a strike.
And it looks like that slider from Velasquez is breaking early. And hitters love that. The earlier the break, the better they can identify what it is. And if you hang them, they bang them.
That's exactly what's happening so far tonight. 3-run homer for Braun in the first after walks to Aguilar and Travis Shaw. Pena leads off the second with a double, and Arcia brings him around. Chassin among the Brewers pitchers who has shown an ability to get things done at the plate. Brent Suter very notable in that regard, although we had some tough news in the stat regard yesterday. As Chassin lays one down, this will get the job done as Santana applies the tag. Arcia moves to second, out number 1. Back to Suter, you remember in the Cardinals series he had what at the time was a 2-run single. Yesterday, or about a week and a half after the fact, baseball took away the hit and it was ruled an E3. Some 9 days later, 10 days later,
I didn't know they could do that.
Yes, they can.
Is that one of the new rules this year? I thought they had 24 hours to change.
Yeah, the official score, I guess, does, but this went to the league
MLB,
office.
Joe Torre.
Yep. Here is Lorenzo Cain. That's tough anytime. The bottom line is they score 2 runs. That's the great news. They count, but you get your pitcher who's coming through again like Brent Suter. You think you have a couple RBIs and you don't.
Yeah. Guys worry more about that than they ever have. Earned runs, base hits, RBIs. It's going to be a pretty good matchup tomorrow with pitching as far as pitchers that can hit.
Yes, sir. Suter will match up with Jake Arrieta, who's shown a little pop at the plate in his time. In fact, he did in his last start Sunday in San Francisco. 1-1 pitch to Kane. Vince Velasquez getting roughed up a bit. 3-run homer he served up to Braun in the first. Brewers with a run here in the second. And Kane rips one. That's down the line. That's going to score Arcia as Lorenzo Cain on his way to second with an RBI double, and it's 5-0 Brewers.
Yeah, they're teeing off on Velasquez. Just doesn't have much on the baseball tonight. That pitch up and in. I mean, normally he's going to be throwing that at about 95. Velocity way down for him. This one up and in. The location not very good either. The pitch was supposed to be down and away. Up and in, and Lorenzo back legs it down the left field line.
RBI number 19 for Lorenzo Cain. Brewers breaking through early against Vince Velasquez. Here's Christian Yelich now. And that gets through Alfaro, and Cain will move to third. Alfaro can't find it.
That'll be another pass ball. It was a cross up, though, it looked like. Well, all kinds of problems behind home plate for the Phillies. It was a curveball. It fooled. It looked like it fooled Alfaro, and it went right through his legs. Hit the umpire. It might be a wild pitch.
I believe they did rule it that a wild pitch.
Okay, but that's certainly one that he's got to be able to handle.
And there's some activity already now in the Philadelphia bullpen. It's Mark Leiter Jr. The Phillies again pull the infield in. The ball, no strikes to Christian Yelich. Three in the first and 2 so far in the second for Milwaukee. The 1-1 to Yelich. Just foul at first. 26 RBIs for Yelich.
And these are the ones you have to get. You can have your good seasons, those RBIs, a man at third, less than 2 outs, particularly when you have the infield in. Not a lot of range in that infield when they're in like that. They're in on the grass.
Arcia took advantage of that a couple of minutes ago. Popped one through into center field. And a check swing and a foul ball. Storylines coming in here, and we're really just getting started with which one of these ball clubs would get things squared away at the plate. Early impressions are favorable.
Yeah, Brewers 3 for 3, runners in scoring position.
The 1-2 again. And Alfaro will be out number 2 as Yelich will go down on strikes. 2 away with Cain remaining at third.
Yeah, breaking ball down and in. He was able to get that one down around the shoe tops. He's been hanging his curveball quite a bit.
As Aguilar steps to the plate, let's check out the Powerball home run leaderboard. Travis Shaw, number 14 on Tuesday night. Jesus Aguilar with 10. Yelich, Cain, and Braun each with 7. Braun hitting number 7 in the first inning tonight. Let's see if Aguilar can bring Cain around. Breaking ball in there for strike one. He got that first inning started with 2 outs. He drew a walk, as did Travis Shaw. It set things up for Braun to go deep. And he's down 0-2. Which with Jesus is not always a bad thing. He is one of the best 2-strike hitters in baseball. 7 of his 10 home runs have come with 2 strikes.
He shortens up really nicely with 2 strikes. He's still going to get his strikeouts, but he does make an effort to shorten up, just try to put the ball in play, and he's certainly strong enough, even when doing that, to drive it out of the ballpark, particularly in this ballpark.
Kane at third, a ball, 2 strikes to Aguilar. And that will end the inning. Back-to-back strikeouts for Vince Velasquez, but the Brewers put a couple of more runs on the scoreboard through a drawn-in infield. Orlando Arcia shoots one through. That scored Manny Pena. And a couple of hitters later, Kane sends one into the corner. 5-0 Brewers into second. Scores one of the 2 that the Brewers put on the board in the second inning. 5-0 Milwaukee through an inning and 1/2. The left fielder Nick Williams will lead things off now for the Phillies. Williams, Alfaro, and J.P. Crawford. Four years old, out of Galveston, Texas. Nick Williams, 83 games last year, his debut season. There's a bouncer to Jonathan VR, and getting there is Chacin for out number 1. This was kind of no man's land there.
Well, good decision by Aguilar, because it was a much easier throw for VR to lead the pitcher. If Aguilar catches this, it's going to be a very awkward throw for him. He realizes where VR is, lets it go. Good decision. That's all part of the much better defense that the Brewers have been playing.
Yeah, remember, this is a Brewers group in the first 19 games committed 21 errors with just 16 cents. And that tells part of the story. This team has been very good in the category of defensive runs saved. Obviously, the outfield defense much improved. Kane and Yelich. We have, by and large, been able to tighten things up. Here is Jorge Alfaro.
And that includes throwing to the right bases, hit the cutoff man. I tell you, Lorenzo Cain has been a really good example for all these outfielders in hitting the cutoff man. He very rarely misses the cutoff man, and the Brewers have been able to get some outs because of it.
Yeah, You know, obviously, it's such a, I think, an underappreciated by many. I mean, it doesn't hitting the cutoff man isn't going to make the highlights, but it makes the highlights possible with what he does, right? I mean, everybody in the clubhouse understands it, and Lorenzo Cain has just been a brilliant addition.
And it's
all
not
around.
something that you should be, excited about, right? It should be something that's normal.
Right.
It's not.
Covers so much ground. I know you and BA have talked about it a lot. His catches often are not going to make highlights. It's because he gets such a great jump. I don't know if there's anybody in better control running down fly balls in the gap than Lorenzo Cain. Alfaro is swing and a miss. 2 up, 2 down in the second.
Like that one in the first inning.
Right.
Made it look easy. I
did.
mean, that was a gapper. I know it hung up there a little bit, but there's a good slider from Chassin. See where it ends up. That's where you want it with 2 strikes early in the count. You want that over the plate. Yeah, to get a called strike. That was more the curveball that time.
2 outs for J.P. Crawford. They've been talking about him for a while here in Philadelphia. First round pick in 2013. September call up last season.
Got his name tattooed on his arm. Maybe you should do that. Put LePay on your arm.
Tell you what, I'll do it right after you put Rock on your arm.
I knew that was coming. That hurt too much.
That's right. Although, just coming here from Cleveland and having been to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the phrase "Long live Rock" takes on a whole separate meaning now.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
You're all for that.
Yeah, they had the big sign out there in front. Got a couple of pictures. Shot him off to the kids.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Crawford. That is catcher's interference, I believe, there against, or he was hit. I'm sorry, he was clipped by the pitch. So on a 2-2 pitch, Crawford gets hit, and he's the runner at first.
Man, does it look like he tries to get out of the way of this pitch? You tell me. I mean, he sticks his elbow out there. And it's something that's hardly ever called, but it looked like he didn't make much of an effort to get out of the way.
So Crawford the runner at first with 2 men out.
You could do that with the pad on the elbow.
Well, absolutely.
You don't have the pad. I mean, you're going to pay for it.
Got all the armor now for a while. Here's Dylan Cousins. Or excuse me, they've actually have Valentine at the plate now. Cousins originally the right fielder and the 8-hole hitter. The son of Jose Valentine.
You can see the resemblance.
Yeah, just Valentine. Jose, of course, the former Brewer in the 90s. There's a little tapper to Chassin. And that'll do it for the Phillies here in the second inning. Crawford hit by a pitch, but no damage done to Yoeli Chassin. 5-0 Brewers after 2.
5-0 lead as we head to the third inning here. And some news from manager Craig Counsell on Eric Thames. He has now played 2 games of minor league rehab in AAA with the Sky Sox. He's had 4 at-bats in each game. He's gone 3 for 8. Last night he made his first start in left field, going 1 for 4. And so Counsell said that overall things have gone well for Thames. They just want to get him some time in the outfield just to give them another option for when he returns. As for when they may be, I asked him if it could be as soon as the start of the Cubs series on the next homestand. He said it's a possibility, but they'll wait and see kind of how the next 2 games go. Thames will not be in the lineup here tonight.
Yeah, add a little bit of pop to that lineup, right? The Brewers, you can never have too many bats, and Thames has had some experience in the outfield with the Brewers. So just another option for Craig Counsell to put him at first, put him in the outfield, just get that bat in the lineup.
Ismael Valentin, who came in to hit for Dylan Cousins, remains in the game as Travis Shaw will send one his way. The ball finds you, right? Valentin will squeeze it for out number 1. And let's show you why the Phillies made this change here. Is on this gapper off the bat of Manny Pena. You see Cousins coming up a little gimpy there.
Yeah, just stopping. Yep.
Now he did jog back to his position and finish the inning, but his night is finished now. So they have Valentin in left, and Nick Williams will move over to right. Here's Ryan Braun. Good start to the night for Brawny. His 23rd career home run against the Philadelphia Phillies.
The Phillies giving Brawny a lot of room down the left field line, and after the first inning, a hanging curveball. See ya. 3-0 Brewers after 2 are out, nobody on. Back-to-back walks. Brawny hits a hanger. A line drive bullet out of here.
Powerball home run count number 7 on the year for Ryan Braun. Velasquez with a 1-1.
They're playing Braun like a left-handed pull hitter almost. They've got Williams shaded around toward the line in right. Herrera's pulled around the right center.
And a breaking ball in the hole. Nice stop, Kingery. Good play. Out number 2.
Tough part of that play, getting up and making a strong throw to first base, and he did it all very well. One hopper, smothers it, and makes a good throw to first. That's a good play. Pretty good arm. And you have to have a plus arm to play shortstop at this level.
Scott Kingery, the rookie, takes one away from Ryan Braun. 2 outs, bases empty for Jonathan Villar. Villar grounded to first. That ended inning number 1. 3 in the first, 2 in the second for Milwaukee. And a tapper, and it will be a foul ball.
And Villar having a nice road trip. 6 for 17, including his first at bat.
Yeah, the Brewers we've talked about scuffling. Villar not one of them, and Eric Kratz, when called upon, would be the other. Kratz, a one-time Philadelphia Philly.
You mean 4 for 8's good?
And nothing cheap, as you said. Yeah, 4 for 8, you take that. Nothing, no dribblers,
right.
no bloops.
Yeah, he's barreling it up. They liked him here in Philly. We were talking to some folks around this ball club about Eric Kratz. They said just a tremendous guy. And we know that already.
2 strikes and nothing to Jonathan Villar. Yeah, there was a group that went over to the Eagles mini camp yesterday, and Eric and his family were part of it, and even they were greeting him. They knew him. Hey, Eric, how you doing, man? Good veteran presence. You knew that he would help with his work behind the plate, and he is really off to a great start at the plate.
He could be mistaken for an Eagle.
He could. He said before, he's built a little bit like a linebacker.
Did you see any of your old buddies over there?
I did, as a matter of fact. Yeah, Corey Clement, the running back, had a great Super Bowl. And Chris Maragos, who's now going into his 9th year.
Wow.
2 rings, one with the Seahawks. And he was hurt, missed the Super Bowl, but gets a ring. So yeah, that was fun. Marcus Handel, good friends with Maragos, a longtime bullpen catcher. Couple of Wisconsin guys.
Yeah, we saw some former Badgers in Cleveland as well.
Yeah, that's right. Joe Thomas, Kevin Zeitler. Wearing you out with Badger football talk yet?
No,
okay.
No, not at all.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. Fly ball from Shaw, ground ball from Braun here in the 2nd inning. First inning damage for the Brewers was done after the first 2 were retired. VR has hit well for the last few weeks now. That average 282 coming into the game. He has worked Velazquez to a full count.
Cleaned up the defense. He's been very careful on the bases. Actually, there have been some situations last couple of weeks where you'd expect him to try and steal. He has not. Showing a little bit more discipline out on the bases.
A swing and a miss. Velazquez gets strikeout number 3 as the Brewers go down in order. 5-0 Milwaukee in the 3rd.
Boat Tours is your chance to experience the natural beauty, wonder, and mystery of the Wisconsin Dells. You'll cruise the Wisconsin River, explore hidden passages, and see towering cliffs and dramatic rock formations while learning about the local history of the area. Our Brewers Live pre- and post-game shows there in the Wisconsin Dells all weekend long with Craig Kashan and Jerry Augustine. And Man Rock, have you guys ever done the boat tours? They're pretty fun.
Haven't done the boat tours. I've been to the Dells a few times. Played some bad golf.
Yeah.
Oh, you Rock.
Oh yeah, I've done all that.
Vince Velazquez getting into one. That is it deep into center field, but Lorenzo Cain again just tells everybody to chill. There's out number 1. Well, Velazquez put a charge into that.
Deepest part of the ballpark. Boy, he pulls a little bit. It's a big fly homer. Talk about getting all of one. He backlegged that one. Look at Lorenzo, knows exactly where he is. That's a result or a function of workouts during batting practice, taking fly balls with Ed Cedar, understanding the nuances of this fence out here in center field. It can be a bit tricky.
He paid attention when Mike Cameron kind of took him under his wing, right?
Yeah,
he really did. Top of the order, Hernandez.
Got to learn from.
I mean, there are obviously a lot of terrific center fielders at this level. They're all the best in the world. But man, I don't know if I don't like think of anybody who gets there and makes the difficult look anything but difficult more effectively than Lorenzo Cain.
Right, that first step, anticipation, and the card that he has in that back pocket, telling him where to position himself for each one of the Phillies hitters.
We talked about it a few days ago, that fun story on MLB.com where, what do you mean card? And Ed Cedar, where's your card? But he has bought in.
He tells Eddie, don't give it to me too early in the day because I'll forget it. I'll lose it somewhere. At some point, I don't think he needs the card, but it's nice to have.
Good little security blanket. That's a called third strike. Chacin gets the outside corner. 2 up and 2 down.
Well, another breaking pitch. That one, the backdoor slider, able to catch the edge. Brian Honora is giving both pitchers a little bit, maybe an inch, you know, on the edges, which is okay as long as you're consistent with it. A lot of umpires don't call that.
Here's Herrera. And Chacin catches the corner for strike 1.
That's a pitch I'm talking about.
Pop up to shortstop for Herrera in the first inning. Chacin looking for his first 1-2-3 inning. Gave up a bunt single to Cesar Hernandez in the first. Hit J.P. Crawford with 2 outs in the second. The 1-1. Tried the back door again, but missed.
More the curveball today for Chacin than the slider.
And gets the outside edge. 2 balls, 2 strikes. As you say, if they're consistent, it's the request of every player, every manager in the game.
First inning to 9.
Full count now to the Phillies center fielder with Scott Kingery on deck. Chacin has not walked a hitter so far. And Herrera yanks one into the seats. Count holds 3-2.
This guy got off to a great start, did Herrera. And it goes after one in on him. Giving Chacin a little business there. Not sure what.
And a swing and a miss. Yolis Chacin with back-to-back strikeouts as he retires the side in order. Brewers up after 3. by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Ascension, coming together to give healthcare a better name. We are Ascension. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. Philadelphia, PA, 5-0 Brewers lead the Phillies as we move to the 4th inning here at Citizens Bank Park. 3-run first, a Ryan Braun home run with 2 aboard, and a couple of runs in the 2nd, and it started with this man, Manny Pena, who leads off the 4th inning for Milwaukee. Vince Velasquez retired the Brewers in order in the 3rd. He's trying to settle in here. The bullpen was up early.
Seemed like the breaking ball last inning was much better. A little crisper, break to it. Brewers took advantage of some very bad breaking pitches early in the game.
Lands that breaking ball. 2 strikes and nothing to Pena. Pena, Arcia, and Chacin for the Brewers in the 4th. Velasquez, 26 years old. Birthday, matter of fact, was yesterday. 2nd round pick by the Astros back in 2010. He was part of the Ken Giles trade a couple of years ago. Brought him from Houston to Philadelphia. Two strikes and nothing to Pena. And that is out number 1 in the 4th.
And back-to-back strikeouts and getting much better command. He's putting the baseball much more where he wants it. And you can see right here what we're talking about with Ryan O'Nora. That was off the plate quite a bit.
Yeah, you said he's been consistent with it.
That was the furthest one, though, that he called that was off the plate.
Yep. Here's Arcia. RBI single in the 2nd for Arcia. Pena doubled, went to 3rd on a pass ball, and Arcia was able to shoot one through a drawn-in infield. And there's a hanger that's hit into left field, a base hit. Arcia is 2 for 2.
Yeah, he's feeling it tonight. The curveball once again hanging up in the strike zone. Manny Pena let one go. Arcia does not. Pretty much in the same spot. That's not where you want to end up. Or that's not where you want a curveball to end up. Up and inner half. Those get hit hard.
Good signs here tonight for Orlando Arcia. Here's Yolis Chacin, laid down a sacrifice bunt in the 2nd inning. Trying to do the same here in the 4th, and this will get the job done. Santana to the covering Cesar Hernandez. 2 outs. Arcia now at 2nd.
Hey, tailgate season is in full swing, and you can get your next tailgate party started with the Brewers tailgate ticket pack, which includes 6 flexible ticket vouchers. Valid for any Friday home game, plus a pair of free parking passes, offer just $20 per person. Learn more at brewers.com/tailgate.
They're due to spend some time at home, and they will. Starting on Monday, the Brewers. 3-game set here in Philadelphia to wrap up the 8-game road trip. Here's Lorenzo Cain. Cain down the line. That's a base hit. That's going to score Arcia as he rounds 3rd. Another RBI for Cain, and it's 6-0 Brewers.
Yeah, how about Lorenzo? How about that approach right there? Fastball away, just lays the bat on it, tucks it inside the first baseline, and a 2-out RBI. Look at that stroke. You don't think he was trying to do that the whole way? Fastball up and away, just pokes it down the line for a 2-out RBI. Brewers now with 4 hits with a man in scoring position tonight.
Continues to produce at the top of the order. The Brewers are producing with men in scoring position.
4 for 6 tonight.
Take that any day.
Yeah.
And they're getting some stuff done with 2 outs. And Braun Homer in the first with 2 men out. And now Kane here in the 4th. 6 runs on 6 hits for Milwaukee. Kane is running. Yelich. That's through a base hit. We're going to first to third him right now as Kane on his way to third takes the turn, and the Brewers have him at the corners.
Yeah, he was thinking about scoring if there's any problem out there in right field. Ed Cedar way down the line toward home plate held him up. Lorenzo had to flip his hat off. It was getting in his way. I think it was bobbing up and down. He had to flip it off, and he was thinking any problems out there. I think Ed Cedar sends him. Running on the pitch, he sees where it is. There goes the hat.
It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch. There's Jesus Aguilar. He has walked, scored. He struck out in the 2nd inning.
Keep an eye if you're Lorenzo Kane, get that big secondary lead. Alfaro's had a difficult time tonight. He's had a couple get by him.
Yeah, 1 pass ball, 1 wild pitch, but as you mentioned, that wild pitch was an offering that he would tell you he should have handled. Let's see what Aguilar can do now with Kane at third, Yelich the runner at first. Top of the zone. OPS still a little north of 900 for Jesus Aguilar.
Hey, Yelich will run. Not sure if he's going to run here. And let the big fella get a hack driving 3.
Ten homers, 32 RBIs for Aguilar. Takes a fastball for strike 2.
Yeah, he's sitting on breaking pitch. You can tell he's taking 2 fastballs that normally, if he's just seeing baseball, he's going to swing at. Waiting for one of those hanging curveballs.
Velasquez loading up with a 1-2, but first a check of Yelich.
You might see him run here. Maybe he's trying to, pick a curveball, breaking pitch in the dirt. There are 2 guys on the bases that could steal a run.
Yelich 7 of 8 in the stolen base department. He holds. Aguilar gets a piece.
Sticking with a fastball are the Phillies. I think because of the fact that Aguilar took 2 hittable fastballs, maybe they're thinking he's looking curveball.
You see that very favorable stat for the Brewers, and Ryan Braun with a 3-run homer in the first with 2 men out. Kane a run scoring single here in the 4th with 2 away. 10th home run for Aguilar came last Saturday in Chicago off Jace Fry. Part of that 5-0 win for Milwaukee. Count holds, a ball, 2 strikes. In the air to right field, Nick Williams at the wall, cannot get it. Kane will score. Yelich will score. Aguilar to second, and it's 8-0 Brewers.
I misplayed that one. Kind of just drifted back. Probably going to be a double, but certainly one that Williams should have had. Well, if he gets back to the fence and jumps, it's an easy catch. He just kind of drifted back there. That'll be a couple of RBIs, you would assume, for Aguilar. Look at this pitch off the plate. Aguilar just trying to put the bat on it. He missed it. And 2 more runs in with 2 outs. You know, so add 2 more to that graphic you just saw.
6 of them tonight. 6 of the 8 runs driven in with 2 men out.
Yeah, that ball just kept carrying. That's how strong Aguilar is with 2 strikes. Pitch about 3-4 inches off the outside corner, still able to get enough of it to get it off the wall.
You mentioned it several days ago, or probably longer than that, his ability, that it's been a jump in his game, what he's done with 2 strikes. He's top 10 material in baseball. And there you see it. And then add now 2 more RBIs, 24. And he's just been terrific.
And again, it was a breaking pitch. He was it looked like he was looking breaking pitch the entire at bat. They gave him one, even one that was not a strike, and still hit it hard.
Well, here's Travis Shaw. 8-0 Brewers here in the 4th. And Shaw rips one. That's down the line, and that's a fair ball. Aguilar will score. Shaw to second. 9-0 Milwaukee.
I just got to wonder how long Gabe Kapler is going to leave his starter out there. This is an ERA buster tonight for him. Only 9 earned runs. That's, you got to figure that's got to be it for him. He has been hit hard the entire game. He did have a 3-up 3-down inning in the 3rd, but just another pitch that got too much of the plate, and Travis Shaw rips it down the line.
3 2/3 for Vince Velasquez. We mentioned he came into this game on a roll. A 2.14 ERA over his last half dozen starts, but as Rock just said, that will bust it up. ERA will take a big hit. A pitching change in Philly. 2 outs, 1 on. Brewers with a 9-0 lead in the 4th. And the Yankees take on the Mets in the latest chapter of the Subway Series. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. on Fox or stream it live on Fox Sports Go. Only John Sterling should really be the one saying all rise, but I just read the card. 9-0 Brewers here in the fourth. Pitching change in Philly. The Brewers just aired it out against Vince Velasquez.
Yeah, it just didn't have it. It was one of those days for Velasquez, and his first bad start in 7 outings. And you got Mark Leiter in. Mark Leiter Jr. called up at the end of May. Second time he's been with the Phillies this year. He was with Philadelphia for a couple of days in mid-May. And last time out, June 1st against the Giants. Pretty good work.
And he faces Ryan Braun with Shaw at second. And Mark's father, a Phillies pitcher, his uncle, name you probably know pretty well. You followed this game at all. Al Leiter.
Man, he was pretty good.
Yes, he was.
Left-hander.
Nine runs, 9 hits against Vince Velasquez. 1-1 now to Braun. Three-run homer in the first, and then it took a very impressive play by the shortstop Scott Kingery. Took a hit away from Braun in the third. Here's the 1-1. Good catch. Catch of the week, though, still in San Diego a few days ago. The young woman, beer in hand, caught the ball into the cup of beer and then chugged the beer.
Yeah, you don't want to put your fingers in the beer, right?
No, absolutely not.
Drink the beer with the ball on it, then take the ball out. That makes sense.
The catch of the week, if not the year. Two-out damage. Big storyline tonight. Mentioned those ERA busters. Now Shaw is still the responsibility of Velasquez. Velasquez entered the game with a 3.82 earned run average. It's gone up a run. 4.81.
Man, outing like that, you bet. It's going to take a while to get it back down, too. It goes up a lot quicker than it goes down.
This game continues to amaze. The 1-2. Leiter had 3 stints with the Phillies last year. Appeared in 27 games, started 11 of them. Last year he was vulnerable to giving up the big fly, 18 of them in 90 2/3 innings. Ready with the 2-2 pitch. Big numbers for Braun against the Phillies. 23 homers, 65 RBIs in his career. And it was Braun tonight opening up the scoring. And he hits one deep into left field again, and that is a fair ball. Shaw will score. It is gone. A home run. Ryan Braun just does clear it. Another laser, his second of the night. And the Brewers continue to air it out against Philadelphia pitching.
And another breaking pitch and another rocket off the bat of Ryan Braun. It looked like that one hit the foul pole or very close. Yeah, curveball, and the breaking pitches just aren't working for the Phillies pitching staff. Yep, right off the pole, and a 2-run shot, so 5 RBIs for Brawny tonight. And we're only in the 4th inning.
He 11-0 Milwaukee. 2 more runs with 2 men out.
Can you hit a couple of curveballs any harder than he's hit them tonight?
No. That went off the bat at 113 miles per hour. Yet another multi-home run ball game for Ryan Braun. Ball is strike to Villar, who has grounded to first and struck out in the 3rd. 9th man to hit here in the inning. Chopper up the line, but foul. So Velasquez actually charged with 10 runs in 3 2/3 innings. 9 hits, walked a couple, and struck out 4. Mentioned at the top, Ryan Braun get into one of those hot streaks that we have seen so many times. Now the playing time is a little different for him this season. Gets on one of those hot stretches. Look out. Here's the 1-2. That will end the inning. Leiter with a strikeout, but the Brewers bat around and inflict a lot of damage with 2 men out. Kane shoots one down the line. That scored Arcia. A double off the bat of Jesus Aguilar. And the Brewers now lead it 11-0 here in the 4th.
At the Midsummer Classic this year. Go to brewers.com/vote and cast a ballot filled with Brewers to help send your hometown stars to Washington this July. Plenty of worthy candidates this year.
Scott Kingery will lead off here for the Phillies in the 4th inning. Luis Chacin getting a ton and a half of run support here tonight. 6-run 4th inning for the Brewers.
Man, his job doesn't change, though. He's got to get out.
That's right. Looking for his 5th win is Chacin.
Only loss came way back on April 4th.
Difference with the Elise, the first 3 starts as opposed to the last 10. Pretty close to day and night. ERA 2.60 over his last 10. Opponents hitting just 2.03 against him. And Kingery sends one into left field, and that's going to get to the wall. Shortstop on his way to second. And that's a leadoff double for Philadelphia.
Yep, he hung a curveball too, did Chacin, and Kingery able to hammer it out there in the left field. Hasn't done this too often. Yeah, curveball middle in. He knew it right away. You could see his reaction, and he whistles that one. One hop off the wall out and left.
It's just the second hit for the Phillies, and the first that left the infield. Cesar Hernandez led off the home half of the first with a bunt single. Here's Carlos Santana. A fly ball to Kane that ended the first inning. And that gets through Manny Pena. Kingery to third.
Yep, spikes a fastball, and that's a difficult pitch for any catcher. That one kind of stays, hugs the ground and right through the legs.
Ball, no strikes to Santana. Santana consistently has been a very good on-base guy. He just doesn't strike out a ton. Anywhere from 350 to 375. Led the league in walks with the Indians back in 2014. 3-0 the count. Fly ball hit out into right center field. Lorenzo Cain has a track. This will get a run home. Out number one. Kingery scores, and that gets the Phillies on the board.
Yeah, thank you very much on a 3-0 count. They got it down toward the end, I think, a little bit. Kept it in the ballpark with the Phillies on the board. They got it in on him, and he'll get the RBI, but that's not what the Phillies are looking for. They're looking for some big innings. I'm surprised he swung.
And they need to stack some runners here. The Brewers will gladly get the outs. One away. Bases are now empty for Nick Williams. Started the game in left field, moved over to right. Dylan Cousins had to leave the game. Left quad tightness, the official word. So he had to exit. Jesmuel Valentin is the left fielder now for Philadelphia.
You can see why the Phillies have had such a difficult time, defensively this year. I mean, they have not committed an error in the game, but Williams misplayed a ball out and right, cost his team a bunch of runs. It's not just errors, right?
Yeah, you're right.
It's plays that should be made that aren't.
One of the wild pitch that Velasquez was charged with. It was a pitch that Alfaro should have been able to handle. He has also been hit with a pass ball, Alfaro, tonight. Defense has been an issue with this club.
That misplay out in right field cost the Phillies 5 runs.
It did. Chacin with a 1-2. Two-two pitch to Williams. Down the line and left, slicing foul.
Nice catch down there, the ball person. Little backhand pickup on a one hopper. Yeah, I'd be smiling too.
Little fist bump there with
nice
a fan.
play.
Yeah.
And she never dropped the chair.
Yeah, that's talent.
You know, that's good work.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Nick Williams. And he caught the corner for a called 3rd strike. 2 away here in the 4th.
And another breaking ball. This one catches the outside corner. Manny holds it there for Brian Renora, who's been looking to call strikes here tonight. Broadcaster's best friend, big strike zone.
Not to mention the pitcher. That's right. If it's close, call it.
If you can reach it, it's a strike.
Here's Jorge Alfaro. One after the first pitch and sending one out to Ryan Braun in left. And that'll do it for the Phillies here in the 4th. They pick up their first run of the night, but Chacín, the Brewers lead 11-1. One with every match live and more than 300 hours of coverage. The world's biggest sporting events just 6 days away, only on Fox and FS1. 11-1. The Brewers lead the Phillies. Big innings for the Brewers, and most of it done with 2 men out. So chase the starter Vince Velasquez, who has the roughest outing for a Phillies starter in some 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah, just didn't have it tonight, and the Brewers took advantage of some really bad pitches by Velasquez. And again, he's been throwing the baseball as well as anybody for this Phillies club.
Mark Leiter remains in the game. He gave up a 2-run homer to Braun before finally finishing that 4th inning. Bottom of the order, and it's been productive for the Brewers tonight. Piña's 2nd inning double turned into a 2-run inning for Milwaukee. Seven, 8, and 9, a portion of the Milwaukee batting order, has 3 hits, 3 runs scored, and a couple of sacrifice bunts from Jhoulys Chacín. Off the foot, a foul ball to even the count.
Brewers had 5 straight hits with 2 outs in that 4th inning.
That's a crusher for the opponent.
You know what? Our Pizza Ranch was who's going to get hot tonight. I think that question's been answered.
Check that one.
Now just make sure that, you know, the Phillies don't start getting hot. This one's not over yet.
Yeah, long way to go. Phillies got their first run of the night in the 4th inning. Another good play there in the seats. Here's what the Brewers have done through the first 4 innings here tonight. Ryan Braun with both of those home runs, his 29th multi-homer game in his career.
And the Brewers tonight 7 for 9 runners in scoring position.
We talked about the offer that the Brewers had in Chicago last weekend. The up and down nature of a 162 game season.
That's why they play that many. It's a game of averages. You're going to go into those stretches where you're not swinging the bat well. You're going to go through defensive lapses, pitching.
Pena with a high fly ball, deep but foul. The month of May, his team was close to unbeatable. 19 wins through stretches where they certainly were close to unbeatable. A swing and a miss as Leiter elevates the fastball for out number 1. Phillies too, a team that has been pretty consistent. They've hit that rough patch in this first week or so of June, but they were 15-10 in April, 15-11 in May. But they've dropped 5 of their first 6 in the month of June. Arcia with a 2-hit night, run scoring single in the second. Singled and scored in the fourth. He has scored twice.
Yeah, these are at bats for Orlando Arcia. You just can't give him away. Not that he's going to. You just got to keep that same approach and not, thinking about hitting one out of the ballpark. Drive the ball up the middle and into right center. These are the kind of at bats that will, lead to the day after day.
Bales there as he goes down swinging, and that's 3 straight strikeouts now for Leiter, who got Villar to win the 4th. It's Pena and Arcia here in the 5th.
Yep, all coming on the fastball. A lot of the damage the Brewers have done tonight has come on the curveball. That fastball off the plate, and he gets another one.
27-year-old out of Toms River, New Jersey, Mark Leiter Jr.
Not too far from here.
No, not at all.
That's where Todd Frazier's from.
That's right. The now New York Met. Reds, White Sox, Yankees, and Mets. 0-2 the count to Yolis Chassin. And Chassin with his 4th hit of the year.
Saying, don't try and slip that fastball by me. Hit number 11 for the Brewers. Fastball up out over the plate. Chassin hits it hard right back through the middle. And Leiter had to duck out of the way of that one.
So this 5th inning continues. Lorenzo Cain, couple of hits, couple of RBIs for Cain. Curveball is fouled. Cain came into the game with a .282 average, and he's up that, as you see, by 5 points. A .389 on base percentage, which has bumped up. National League average for a leadoff hitter, .252 is the batting average, .329 the on base percentage. So that Cain-Yelich combo, they are both well above average.
That's why the Brewers got him.
And oh, by the way, they cover ground in the outfield. A ball, a strike to Cain. So the Brewers with the 11 hits. Everyone is hit in the order with the exception of Jonathan VR, who's been swinging a very good bat for a few weeks now.
Yeah, the hottest guy on the road trip.
Came with a bouncer foul at third. That's the nature of the game. The Brewers scored 2 runs on Tuesday night. A run on 9 hits Wednesday afternoon. They were able to get some hits. 8 of those hits came against Carrasco, but just couldn't get that next one to move the line. They're getting the next one tonight. Again and again.
Yeah. And taking advantage of some hanging breaking pitches, and I think that day off came at a pretty good time. I know the Brewers have had 2 days off in this road trip, and you never want to have too many stacked up together, but I think the Brewers needed that one yesterday.
There's a chance to regroup a little bit. It seems to be working.
He's got a broken bat. I'm surprised he's still using it.
It's the one he had the other night. Maybe he had that same chip
I'm actually
in the Indian
surprised
series.
that Brian O'Neill is letting him use it. That's broken.
Continues to use it. 2-2 pitch. And a hot shot that J.P. Crawford handles, and they'll get the force at second. And that'll do it for the Brewers here in the 5th. Halfway through, it's 11-1 Milwaukee. Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. And by Toyota. Let's go places.
We don't have to do it.
Beautiful night in Philadelphia. And for the Brewers, it is extra beautiful, at least so far. A long way to go. 11-1 Milwaukee here in inning number 5. 7, 8, and 9 in the Phillies batting order. J.P. Crawford will lead things off. Lee Chassin giving up his first run of the night of the 4th inning. Scott Kingery a leadoff double, advanced on a wild pitch. Scored on a Carlos Santana sacrifice fly. Run on 2 hits. That's all he's allowed. Crawford just the past couple of days returning to the active roster. He had been on the DL with a right forearm strain. Mentioned the very highly regarded prospect. Baseball America, in fact, the last 4 years listed him as their top prospect. Third baseman for now. Might be a little rotation, but they like what they see out of Scott Kingery there.
Just trying to see what they have going forward, and in the meantime, they're hanging right in there. Different guys in different spots defensively. You move them around in the batting order. And Gabe Kapler's done a pretty good job with this group of youngsters.
32 and 28, beginning tonight, 3 games behind the Nationals. Crawford hits this well into right field, but right at Christian Yelich, 1 out.
Yeah, he did hit that hard. Hey, tonight's time of the game winner, Duck Sports Bar and Grill in Emory. If they call the Brewers by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. It's offered courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Over by the border, right? Amory? Wisconsin, Minnesota, is that right?
That's what we were told. You probably knew it.
Did Mike Faulkner give you that, get you that long distance message?
He doesn't text me anymore. He used to.
Really? Did you get him upset about something?
Yeah, I called him out when he was wrong once. That was like 5 years ago. He's never wrong about that.
So you beat him up one time.
One time, and I'm still paying for it. I'm talking about 2011. Holds a grudge, doesn't he?
Apparently. I always thought he was a mild-mannered guy. Texted me a couple days ago. He didn't text you? Oh, okay.
No.
All right. Cheswell Valentine came in for the injured Dylan Cousins. In fact, had the at-bat for him in the 2nd inning where he tapped back to Chassin. Cousins leaving with left quad tightness. Valentine, the left fielder. Here's a 3-1 pitch. That's hit in the air to right field. Lots of room for Yelich again. 2 up, 2 down.
See, even after we're talking about him, he still hasn't texted me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's.
I gotta go home with gifts from Mike, apparently.
Gonna be a frosty reunion on Monday. I know he'll talk to BA.
Yeah, of course.
BA's back on Monday. He will be around a lot more than not now. We have some absences here and there, but the biggest stretch coming to an end. So for those wondering, he's fine. He's back on Monday and for the homestand and for a while. Be good.
And you're going to be.
I've got a few events, but I will be away for a while. But I'll be back with you when we have the all-important beer event in a few weeks. A strikeout ends the inning. Chassis puts him down in order. 11-1 Brewers.
instincts on this one. Saddle up, partner. Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Fellas, you think we can listen to the radio or something?
Radio? Who needs a radio?
Harvard graduate Brent Suter
That
started. That is awesome.
I mean, you can't tell the two of them apart, Jim Carrey. Brent Suter, well done. Well done.
I believe Jim Carrey has actually responded on social media to that too. He had a chance to see it. I was telling Brent earlier, that is next level material right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
does it surprise you with him though?
No, it doesn't. I mean, what a great guy, and pretty good at his craft as well out on the mound. But you have to watch that entire video, and then you can wonder with the rest of us, how many takes that Josh Hader needed not to laugh, and I'm pretty sure he's biting his lip to keep from laughing even on the final take there. It's just hilarious.
Yeah, good stuff.
These guys,
very creative.
Yeah, they have a knack of taking their jobs very seriously and not taking themselves very seriously at all. It's not a bad combination. Curve as Yelich in front, 1-2 the count. There's Hader, and how I have no idea how many takes. I had to think a lot.
Yeah, but I bet he's focused. You know, I mean, he can focus himself and keep the laughing inside.
Jeremy Jeffress was really good in the role too, so it was got to see it if you haven't already. And there's a strikeout, and Alfaro will secure it. Out number one. Let's get it more on the topic and how Hader kept a straight face. Let's check in with Sophia Minnie.
Yeah, we were having some fun with Josh Hader before the game today, and we talked about his pitching and how great he is, and he said, listen, give my acting skills a little bit of credit. If you go back, he and Brett Phillips did the Wayne's World video. He also participated in the Sandlot video earlier this year, so he said, I was just able to lock it in, keep a straight face, and he was having a good time with it too. He said, listen, this is not my first rodeo. So these guys are having some fun with it as well.
They have to get their cards, get the SAG cards here. Jesus Aguilar at the plate.
He's something else. First full season.
Wow. Aguilar, a 2-run double in the 4th inning. And that's in on the hands, a little bloop, and Hernandez secures it for out number 2. Well, it's one thing for any of us to give credit to Brent Suter. It's another to get it from Jim Carrey. Look at this, where the beer flows like wine. Tickled stupid. Jim Carrey says Brent Suter has got some comedy chops.
Yeah, nice.
That's very, very good.
Or of a severe behavioral disorder.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, one of the two. Something else.
That is outstanding. Well, Sophia mentioned the Sandlot too. They're actually having their celebration here in Philadelphia for that tomorrow. And I don't know, but I'm going to make the assumption that anything they do will be no match to that video that the Brewers put out during spring training, the reenactment. I mean, that was spot on.
Yeah.
Two outs, bases empty. Travis Shaw's been on base twice tonight. Walked in the first, run scoring double in the 4th. Part of a 6-run 4th inning for Milwaukee. Mark Leiter just trying to give Gabe Kapler some innings here. Vince Velasquez went just 3 2/3, gave up 10 of the 11 runs.
Yeah, except for the home run that he allowed to Brawny, he's been pretty good. Getting some outs.
His share of strikeouts along the way.
Sometimes not easy duty, but for a guy that's trying to, impress his manager, try and stay in the big leagues, been up and down a couple of times already. These are important innings.
Three-two pitch. And Shaw draws a walk. Second time he has walked here tonight. Leiter will have his rematch with Ryan Braun. Have a night, Brawny. He has gone deep multiple times tonight. First inning, took a hanger and smoked it out of here into the bleachers in left field. And then against Leiter, this laser. Home run number 2.
Yeah, 2 curved balls, 2 homers.
If you're wondering, Brawny has a 3-homer outing against the Phillies. Remember early in 2014. You recall Aaron Hill's night a couple years back against the Reds in Cincinnati. But Ryan on April 8th had 3 homers, drove in 7. That was that first road trip. Brewers swept the Red Sox and the Phillies. And a fly ball hit out to right field. Room for Nick Williams at the track. To left the yard, a warning track fly there. We are in the middle of the 6th. 11-1 Milwaukee. All right, Dario, thank you very much. Yeah, actually 3 percentage points if you really want to narrow it down. That's the advantage the Cubs have, but the Brewers looking to slide back to the top spot as Cesar Hernandez attacking early, flies out to Lorenzo King to begin the 6th.
You don't get anything when you're in first place on June 8th. Just kind of hang around and keep playing good baseball and see where it all shakes out at the end.
I like that old line, and it is an old line, that even the worst of teams are going to find a way to win 60 or so. The best of teams might drop 60 or so. It's what do you do with those other 40 or so?
Right,
I mean,
exactly right.
I mean, it's a line like that's been around for a reason. And in today's baseball, you get in, right? Get into the postseason, and your bullpen is healthy, lined up right. Somebody gets hot, and you can have a magical run. A ball, 2 strikes to Odubel Herrera, who was popped to short and struck out. Luis Chacin is allowed just a run on 2 hits.
Yep, you win 60, you lose 60, and you're right. It all comes down to those other 42 games. how many teams win 100, how many teams lose 100, right?
Exactly. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball and another strikeout.
He's had a good one tonight. He's only made the one mistake, and that was the Kingery. You know, that leadoff double in the 4th inning. He hung it. He left it middle in. There's a good pitch. Outer half. Herrera pulls his head. We mentioned that, you know, these Phillies haven't been swinging the bat all that well. You know, coming into this game, they had a rough road trip, and Chassis taking advantage of it with some really good curveballs tonight.
2 men out, base is empty for Scott Kingery. Good looking young player for this Phillies ball club is Kingery. Good defensive play we have seen out of him tonight. A ball, a strike, and a wave and a miss. Slider has Chassin ahead, 1-2. Chassin has retired the last 7 Philadelphia hitters, make it 8 actually. That is strike 3 called. Breaking ball, top of the zone, and a backwards K. Chassin with 7 strikeouts. Brewers lead 11-1.
And our Brewers live crew, Craig Kershaw and Jerry Augustine, are spending the weekend in the Wisconsin Dells and the Kalahari Resort, which features an exciting mix of rides, slides, and adventures for the whole family. From the amazing water park to the indoor theme park, Kalahari offers an array of attractions for children of all ages, plus with amenities such as Spa Kalahari and Salon, exceptional dining options, and championship golf. The Kalahari goes beyond your expectations.
All right, Sophia, thanks much. Jonathan VR will lead things off. See if he can join this hit parade. Everyone else in the batting order has at least 1 knock here tonight, and he'll be facing their closer as we move to the 7th inning, Hector Neris.
Man, needs some work, obviously. It's been a while for him back on June 3rd at San Francisco. He gave up a run in an inning of work. I would imagine that this was a day he was going to throw regardless, so you know, with the 10-run lead for the Brewers, he figures he's not going to leave his closer down there all night to get work in the 8th or 9th. Get him an inning here tonight, early on.
VR, Pena, and Arcia for Milwaukee. As VR in attack mode of the first pitch and fouls it off.
Man, Neris is averaging just shy of 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. 29 punch outs, 22 in the third innings.
Moved into that closer's role last year. 74 appearances a year ago, 79 the year before. '28-year-old Hector Neris ahead in the count to Villar. A ball, 2 strikes. 11 runs, a like number of hits for the Brewers. A run on 2 for Philadelphia. Villar able to check his swing. Count evens, 2 balls, 2 strikes. I mentioned the Cubs win over the Pirates this afternoon. Cardinals lead the Reds 5-4. They're in the bottom of the 6th inning in Cincinnati. Keep you updated on the NL Central scoreboard. Cardinals getting a couple of walk-off wins so far this week. Villar sends one foul down the line.
Mike Matheny saying that expect better play out of his Cardinals going forward. Kind of a bold comment.
Putting it out there, huh?
Yeah. I don't know if that's so much designed to stir up the fan base or the players. One of the two. Maybe both.
A bouncer to Santana. There is out number 1 in the 7th.
Hey, be the first to know all the latest Brewers news with MLB At Bat, the official app of the Brewers. With At Bat, you get breaking news, live radio broadcasts, and lineup updates sent right to your fingertips. Download At Bat today, free for your smartphone or tablet.
I want to guess that dude has spent a little bit of time in the weight room at some point in his life. He's really an offensive lineman type of build. Big man. Stay on his good side. Do not anger this fella. Saw some really big human beings yesterday. We were going over to watch the Eagles training camp. They've got some guys 6'8", 345. They drafted in the 7th round. He's from Australia. He's never played American football. Played rugby. Take a look at some highlights of that. Talk about an unfair fight.
Yeah,
bowling over people.
Did he make Marcus Hannah look small?
He did, as a matter of fact.
It's not easy to do that. I don't care if you're in an NFL locker room or not.
Oh, he did. This guy towers. They're trying him at offensive tackle. Marcus set all this up for us. Good friends with the former Wisconsin player Chris Maragos, who's with the Eagles. But yeah, you know, Marcus is big. Jacob Barnes, right? Big dude.
Yeah.
And he looked not so big when those guys rolled by.
Yeah. Big people. Even bigger with pads on. I hear Marcus has given up on the cheesesteak challenge.
I asked him that.
That he won a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Pena, a swing and a miss, out number 2 in the 7th. Yeah, I asked him. I said, "Hey, are you going to try to break your record again? Are they, you searching it out?" And he said, "Well, no, they're searching me." But now for him, an appetizer is probably what, 2 or 3, 4 or 5.
Yeah, I asked the guys down in the clubhouse here at the ballpark, the visiting clubhouse. The gentleman that actually makes the cheese sticks. I said, "Where's Marcus at this point?" There's only 2.
Oh, it's a light day.
So yeah, he's given up.
Arcia pops it up. And the shortstop Kingery will call for it, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Brewers. Stretch time with Milwaukee up by 10.
1 lead. And earlier tonight, we told you what Eric Thames is doing in AAA. Well, on our UW Whitewater minor league scouting report, second baseman Dylan Moore for the Sky Sox last night turned in a 3-for-4 night, 2 runs, 2 doubles. In 23 games with Colorado Springs, a .350 average for him, 9 doubles, 3 homers, and 13 RBIs. That's after a good start with Biloxi in AA, a .373 average for him there. So Dylan Moore putting together a very good season between AA and AAA.
My goodness, yeah, he is. He is raking. That name in mind, moving forward. Oh yeah, everybody having some fun here. And you know, being here in Philadelphia, it reminds me of last year, the visit the Brewers made here, and the Philly Fanatic. Look at this. I mean, I think he took a liking to Sophia.
Fanatic, hilarious.
I don't know if she's been dreading the trip here, looking forward to the trip here, but at some point while we are here this year, my guess is the Fanatic will once again be in flirt mode with Sophia Minnaert.
Yep.
We haven't had any opportunities yet to rekindle our romance, so we'll see.
Here's a long fly ball to right field, and that is out of here. A solo shot for Carlos Santana, and that makes it 11-2 Milwaukee.
Well, he tried to do that his last time up when he swung at a 3-0 pitch and flied to center. He drove in a run, so he's got both the RBIs tonight. And a pitch down the middle up in the zone, and Santana gives that one a ride. Christian Yelich barely moved.
Before Santana rudely interrupted our fun over here. Yeah, the weekend is young, so I'm guessing at some point, Sophia, the Fanatic will be looking for you once again. One of the best. Nick Williams, a fly ball. That's hit well into center field, and that is off the wall. And on his way into third is Nick Williams. So a homer for Santana, a triple for Williams. And that's how the Phillies start the 7th inning.
Well, it's got to clear everything out there. It's got to clear that railing. That 409 sign out there. It's got a yellow line going straight up. It's got to clear everything in that part of the ballpark. And fastball pretty straight out away from Williams. He gives that one a ride. As it stands right now, it's a triple. And as Gabe Kapler want the umpires to look at it, they're going to have a little bit of a meeting. They're going to go look. Never did get a look at where the ball actually hit.
So they will take a look.
This will be an umpire review.
It was just belted deepest part of the ballpark. There we go.
You see where it hits right there, top of the padding, hit the fence, and then came back. That is not a home run.
Got to clear it all there. Nonetheless, 2 very hard hit balls off Chassin here in the 7th inning.
So I guess why do you ask for a review on that? I mean, that's pretty clear, but they're
like
still looking at it.
Yeah. We've been fooled before.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem to be real complicated. And it is a triple for Nick Williams.
No, not even sure why he asked for a review on it. Hit the top of the pad.
Probably not a more chiseled manager in the game than Gabe Kapler. Dedicated to working out. One-time Milwaukee Brewer, Gabe Kapler. Actually, he came out of retirement. He retired after '06 and then made the Brewers ball club out of spring training in 2008. Here is Jorge Alfaro. Came over from the Dodgers organization, but yeah, his numbers.
Pretty good year, right?
It did.
Hit over 300.
Wild card year for the Brew Crew.
Was a broadcaster before he became a manager.
Very big into the analytics and is doing a nice job at this Phillies ball club. Alfaro, a fly ball into shallow center field. Tagging is Williams, but he will hold still, and that is out number 1 here in the 7th.
Yeah, Lorenzo Cain doing a real good job surrounding that baseball, getting his momentum toward home plate. Doesn't matter what the score is, you play the game right. Gets Alfaro on a pop-up, and look at Lorenzo, you know, getting himself ready, momentum going toward home plate. And Williams has to hold at third base.
One away in the 7th inning for J.P. Crawford. Chacin went 7 innings at Arizona on May 15th. 7 innings of 2-hit 1-run ball. And that night it was a game that the Brewers lost 2-1. He had a no decision.
And look at his pitch count, though. Still in really good shape as we work here in the 7th. 84 pitches, so he's got a little bit left in the tank.
The ball is strike to Crawford. Rick Johnson, the pitching coach, looking on, and Chacin has been good tonight. The Phillies with 4 hits, 2 of them here in the 7th inning. Carlos Santana, a leadoff homer, and Nick Williams followed with a triple. Look at that, no walks. Which you always want, but when you're up 11-0 as Chacin was, sometimes you can let your guard down, but he's really avoided that.
Good job keeping his focus with the big lead. A couple of sacrifice bunts, a base hit, and pitching well.
That is strike 2 call.
How about that? A 3-1 curveball in an 11-2 game.
Full count now on the young third baseman, J.P. Crawford. We figured that Crawford penciled in at the shortstop position for a long time, but good little work at third as he comes off the DL with Scott Kingery performing well at short. Here's a 3-2 pitch. And there's the first walk of the night. And that has Matt Albers up in the Milwaukee bullpen. And now visit as Derek Johnson will have a chat. Brewers with 3 in the first, 2 in the second, and a 6-run 4th inning. Chacin pitching with this lead all night long. I mentioned the Brewers with that 6-run 4th inning, doing a lot of damage with 2 men out, including this. as you take a look
Yeah.
at a misplayed fly ball there.
Hit probability 24%. That's what we're talking about. That's a misplay out there, and it cost his team 5 or 6 runs.
Mutual insurance run of the game. The Brewers with a couple of more runs after that. Ryan Braun with a 2-run homer. Shaw followed Aguilar's double with a run-scoring double. Here's Jesmuel Valentin. And he looks at a breaking ball for strike one.
Well, a lot of curveballs tonight, right? Well, he had it working for him, and Manny Pena kept having him throw it. It's been effective tonight.
Valentin, the son of a former Brewer, Jose. This season was short last year. Jesmuel in AAA at Lehigh Valley. He had a shoulder injury early. His season was done by May.
You can see the resemblance.
Really do.
Both of them switch hitters.
Brewer fans remember Jose from 92 to 99 in the Brewers uniform. 2 balls, 1 strike. And a liner in the right field, a base hit. That'll score Williams. Crawford on his way to third, and it's an 11-3 ball game. Fighting Phil's trying to do just that here in the 7th inning.
Yep, getting some good at bats, late in the game, and all of a sudden Chassin making some mistakes. There you see it, fastball down the middle of the plate, and Valentin able to hit it hard in the right.
A couple of runs here in the 7th. Nice spot in the order coming up, so Andrew Knapp will pinch hit.
Yep, and here comes Craig Counsell.
Chad Albers up. A double switch here. Nice spot in the order. Scheduled to lead off the 8th inning for Milwaukee. Well, a good night's work for Chassin, but getting touched up here in the 7th inning. 3 hits, a walk, and a couple of runs across here so far, and 2 men on, runners at first and third. Looking for win number 5, and Chassin will give way to Matt Albers. Pitching change here in Philadelphia. 1 on, or make that 1 out. 2 on, 11-3 Milwaukee. Seventh inning. Elise Chassin is done for the night. Good line here so far. Hopefully the For his sake, the inherited runners do not score. Look good though tonight, Rob.
Yeah, it was all about the curveball tonight. I mean, you never know. It's either slider or curveball, but was very careful with the fastball tonight. The only mistake really he made with the curveball was to Kingery. That was to lead off the 4th inning, but he did not score. But yeah, just one curveball after another, and those Phillies just couldn't figure it out. Good job by Manny Pena to recognize the fact that he had a great curveball tonight. He just kept going to it.
Now Matt Albers on the mound for Milwaukee.
That 24th appearance, a 205 earned run average. Albers last appeared against the White Sox on Sunday.
Faces Andrew Knapp. Brewers making the double switch. Eric Sogard, the new second baseman, he will hit 9th in the batting order for Milwaukee. Which means Sogard will lead off the 8th for the Brewers. Knapp, another one of the younger players. His debut was last year with the Phillies, appeared in 56 games. Second round pick in 2013 out of Cal Berkeley. 2 balls, no strikes. Crawford the runner at 3rd, Valentine at 1st. A strike on the inside corner. Brewers bullpen with the best ERA in the National League, 2.61 coming into the weekend. 2-1 pitch in the air to center field. Drifting back is Kane. This will score Crawford. That's out number 2. As Crawford will score, it's an 11-4 ball game. Away as Valentine remains the runner at 1st. Here's Cesar Hernandez. Bunt single for him in 3 trips to the plate tonight.
That was a good 2-seam fastball, and going with the plan with the breaking pitches to this team. And just threw a slider on the outside corner.
Three hits in the inning for Philadelphia. Hernandez does what you would like to see out of top of the order hitters. He's among the leaders in pitches per plate appearance. 370 on base percentage for him coming into the game.
Yeah, typically that's what you like out of your leadoff hitter. You're right. I mean, a guy that's not really too worried about hitting with 2 strikes. Take some pitches, see what the guy's got, particularly early in the game. Enjoy your walks.
Some good years for him, career best years, 26 doubles, homered 9 times. That bunt single he had to lead off the bottom of the 1st, his 5th bunt hit of the year. He had 15 of them in 2016. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Three runs in for the Phillies here in the 7th inning. Valentine will be on the move. Here's the payoff. And a base hit into right. Valentine to 3rd, and the 7th inning continues.
Well, the last thing Craig Counsell wants to have to deal with is bringing in his big guns in a game where they led 11-0. Phillies chipping away. Now they got some thump coming up. couple of men on, 2 outs. Didn't want to walk him, and he hits it hard into right field. You know, fastball.
The 7th inning continues for Odubel Herrera, looking for his first hit of the night. Brewers trying to keep him cold. That average is still at .301, but he has struggled mightily now over the last 20 games. And struggled mightily with that slider for strike 1. Good player though. Last year he had a 21-game hitting streak, the longest in the majors. One of the leaders in doubles a year ago. He had 42.
An orthodox setup, but you know, he pretty much ends up where every other good hitter is when, you know, that ball's on its way to home plate. That's just the way he gets his triggering mechanism going. And a change up.
He has Herrera flailing away right now. 2 strikes and nothing.
So no reason to throw him a strike.
Herrera, the 8th man to hit for the Phillies in the inning. Here's the 2-strike pitch. Runner on the move as Herrera fouls it off. Brewers scored the game's first 11 runs. Phillies with a run in the bottom of the 4th and 3 here in the 7th. Valentin at 3rd. Cesar Hernandez the runner at 1st. 2 strikes and nothing to Odubel Herrera. And that will end the inning. Didn't throw him a strike. Herrera chased it anyway. And that'll do it for the Phillies in the 7th inning. They get 3, but they strand 2 as Albers punches out Herrera. Phillies opener of this 3-game series. We move on to the 8th inning. Time for T-Mobile's Hats Off for Heroes. And tonight we take a look at Aaron Altair, young outfielder for the Phillies, a son of a U.S. Armed Forces veteran. Off to a decent start here this season, including the last 3 games where he has driven in 5. It's pretty good numbers last year, actually. Led the team with an 856 OPS. Also had 7 outfield assists a year ago. Aaron Altair. Tonight's T-Mobile Hats Off for Heroes.
Yep, military family. Sometimes that can be tough on the entire group. As Arano takes over for the Phillies here in the 8th inning. Last appeared for the Phillies back on June 1st against the Giants, a scoreless inning. That included a couple of strikeouts. He struck out at least one batter in 14 of 16 appearances this year.
And he faces Eric Sogard, coming in part of that double switch in the 7th inning. Brewers trying to take care of the rest of their business tonight. Jumping out to the big 11-0 lead. Phillies trying to chip away, getting 3 in the 7th inning. 4th at bat of the road trip for Sogard. 1 for his first 3. A little tapper there, and that's the first out of the inning. '23-year-old Victor Arano.
Yeah, pretty good two-seam fastball. Has not allowed a home run in his career, albeit a short career so far. That covers 29 innings. So it does a good job keeping the ball on the ground. That two-seam sinking fastball.
Non-roster invitee to spring training last year. September call-up. 10 appearances a year ago. Top of the order now, Lorenzo Cain. Another good night at the plate for Cain. Two of the 11 hits that the Brewers have. Back at it tomorrow afternoon and Sunday afternoon here in Philly. 1-1 pitch. Brewers have had production up and down the batting order here tonight. That'll cost Cain a strike. 2-2 the count. They got to Vince Velasquez, who went just 3 2/3. 9 hits, 10 runs. Mark Leiter gave up the other. That was on the Braun home run.
Other than that, bullpen's been good for Philly.
Yeah, Hector Neris and now Victor Arano. Looking for their second win on the trip. Trying to snap what is now a 3-game skid. Cain sends one into right center field, and Nick Williams runs it down for out number 2. Let's check out Miller Lite's what's on tap, and the Brewers will face Jake Arrieta again, putting up some very good numbers. What else is new? Brent Suter gets a call for Milwaukee. Our coverage starts with Brewers Live tomorrow at 11:30 on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Yep, and 2 pretty good hitting pitchers.
Both with an ability to get the ball out of the ballpark. Arrieta with what, 7 of them, I think, 6, 7 in his career, including one over the weekend in San Francisco. Yelich sends one deep to center field, and Herrera will look up. Speaking of long balls, Yelich gets involved. Number 8 on the year for Christian Yelich.
First home run allowed in the short career of Arano. We just talked about no home runs. He just gave one up. Well, Yelich on the first pitch as it's a missile into center field. 94 miles an hour right down the middle. Christian Yelich with his second base hit. This time a home run. That's what you call center cut. Right down the middle. And didn't waste it.
A no-doubter. 12-4 Brewers. Home run number 8. RBI number 27 for Christian Yelich. Here's Jesus Aguilar. So the slider for strike 1. A walk, a 2-run double tonight for Aguilar. A bat that's going to fly into the seats about 8-10 rows up.
Oh, look at that thing.
Ooh, one of those maple bats. Yeah, that got that guy.
Yeah, got him. Boy, that's dangerous. Those things coming in like a spear. Eats him up inside. Back goes into the seats with that sharp point on it. Man.
Yeah, probably didn't even see it there as he was screened off by a couple of fans. He's all right. 0-1 the count to Aguilar. I know you and Brian talked about Maple, right? You know, as the bats now they blow up.
Yeah, they don't crack. They very rarely crack. They just disintegrate. Yep.
A ball, 2 strikes to Aguilar. Stays in there off that slider. It holds a ball, 2 strikes.
A lot of these guys, you know, use a bat with a very big barrel on it, very thin handle, and that doesn't help that either. You see the way that bat is tapered with that thin handle, the big barrel up there, and when you get that thing going, as strong as these guys are, that bat's just going to break in half.
Yeah, any number of players, all of them really, and especially a guy like Jesus Aguilar, who goes down swinging on an elevated fastball, and that'll do it for the Brewers in the 8th inning. But Christian Yelich gets involved in the home run parade, goes deep. Brewers now lead it 12-4. All right, guys, thank you very much. It's just something that sounds good about a night at the Keg, huh?
You know, why is he watching, actually? I mean, not only, you know, just watching the game, but he's counting pitches at the Keg. Come on, Augie.
That's impressive. You know, with almost anybody else, I would say that's false hustle, but I know with Augie, that's real.
Yeah, not with Augie, right? Looks like they're having a good time, though. Well fed. Well, stay hydrated, guys.
That's the key. That's the key. Got to pace yourself here. This is the first of 3.
Day game tomorrow.
Those day games after night games could be tough.
Can you imagine the damage they're going to do tomorrow after the game? Of course, so will we.
Well, we will.
Here in Philly.
A ball, 2 strikes to Scott Kingery. Matt Albers still in there for the Brewers, and Kingery looks at a called 3rd strike. And he has done that a couple of times tonight. 1 away in the 8th.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Matt Albers. He got Herrera to end the 7th. And dots the I on the outside corner to get Kingery on strikes. It has been consistent all night. A little bit off the edge for Brian O'Nora.
One away in the 8th. Here is Carlos Santana. Went off the 7th with a rocket into the seats in right field. It was off Yolis Chassin. It was home run number 10 for Santana. With 23 of them with the Indians last year. Signed a 3-year contract, 3 years, $60 million. Back in December.
It's good money.
That works. Rock money.
$60 million bucks. Man.
32 years old. He was one of those who it's kind of interesting. It was probably a little bit under the radar in terms of all the national pub, right? Because of all the JD Martinez who was going to sign him.
Right.
You know, where was Eric Hosmer going to go? And yeah, 60 for 3. That's all right.
And you know, you say that, and you don't even bat an eye anymore.
Yeah, we've talked about club-friendly contracts. A lot of these younger guys are taking. Kingery is one of them. You know, those 5-6 deals for 23, 25, and that, you know, those are quote club-friendly. Those are young player pocketbook.
Yeah, and the amazing thing is some of them turn it down.
Yeah, they do. Ball 4 to Santana. He draws the 1-out walk. It'll be interesting to see going forward because we have seen some of these young guys take these deals now, and you see how things unfolded in the off season with, you know, some of these guys, Santana an exception, but we didn't see those blockbuster contracts necessarily this past offseason the way we have in previous years.
Yep.
If it's there, go get it.
Yep, relievers got a lot of the money this year. A lot of starters took forever to sign, including tomorrow's starter for Philly.
Jake Arrieta gets the call tomorrow. Nick Williams at the plate. He tripled, narrowly missed what would have been back-to-back home runs for the Phillies. Deepest part of the park. Had a triple. He eventually scored on a Valentine single to right. Part of the 3-run inning for Philadelphia. Well, the big news today in baseball, Shohei Ohtani on the DL, the UCL sprain. One of the bright stories, what he's done on the mound and at the plate, but he is on the shelf right now.
Too bad.
We're going to reevaluate and see where he is in 3 weeks. One and two, the count to Nick Williams. Here comes the 1-2. Williams part of that Cole Hamels trade a few years back. Drafted by the Rangers 6 years ago.
I wonder if Cole Hamels is going to be traded at the deadline this year. Texas having a rough season.
Yeah, there's some speculation about that. To help somebody. Williams will lift one in the air. Shallow center. This is Orlando Arcia. He can't handle it, but Lorenzo Cain is there. What a play. Yes, sir.
He's never out of a play, is he?
That's why you watch all 9 innings, folks. You never know what you're going to see in baseball.
Yeah, what a player. Lorenzo Cain never gives up on any play. That was a good effort by Orlando Arcia. He went a long way to go back to get this in the glove. Just couldn't hold on. But look at Cain. He avoids contact and is able to make the catch. My goodness. He's something else. Lorenzo Cain does it again. In a 12-4 game, he just never stops hustling.
Yeah, you talked about that a couple innings ago. You play the game right all the way through, and there's a veteran guy who does just that. 2 men out for Jorge Alfaro. That's one that every young player across the country, you watch action like that.
Right? It'll go down as an F8, but it's much more than that.
Deflected off of Arcia's glove. Didn't quite squeeze it. Cain was there. It was a 1-strike pitch. 0-2 the count. Strikeout and a couple of fly balls from Alfaro tonight. Albers coming in the 7th inning for Yolis Chacin. Chacin 6 1/3, charged with the 4 runs, gave up 5 hits, walked 1, struck out 7. Carlos Santana, the runner at first. Albers ready with the 0-2 pitch. Brewers getting a little activity again in their bullpen. A ball, 2 strikes. Alfaro hanging tough as Jacob Barnes is up.
Probably has the 9th. Pitch count getting up there for Matt Albers. This might be his last hitter. I don't think you want to go too much more than 30 plus.
Pitch number 33 on the way. And that is a fair ball. It's flagged down by Shaw. It's an infield single for Jorge Alfaro. Runners at first and second with 2 away.
Good battle by Alfaro just to put it in play. Right down the line and over the bag and a base hit.
Also wants to see if Albers can get through this 8th inning. He will face J.P. Crawford, who walked and scored in the 7th.
Guys are still taking their hacks up there. Not getting cheated.
One strike pitch from Albers. You see the average at 188 for Crawford. Last year when he came up in September, he hit 214. That was over 23 games. His career just starting. He's committed 5 errors in the field. Remember, he's just come off the disabled list. All the errors have been throwing errors for Crawford.
Maybe sometimes relying a little bit too much on the arm. Maybe not understanding when not to throw is the most important decision to make.
2-1 pitch. Caught the corner. Game 24 on the year for Crawford. 23-year-old out of Long Beach, California. Santana at second. Alfaro the runner at first. Here's the 2-2. Oh, you're right. He does not get cheated.
No. And Albers is now up to 38 pitches. And I would imagine Craig Count's a little bit nervous about that.
One more time. Albers getting ready for the 2-2 offering to J.P. Crawford. Waste another one. Much busier than hoped for outing here for Matt Albers. Counsell hoping that 40th pitch will be the last one. The 2-2 again. And it is the last one as he strikes out J.P. Crawford. That ends the inning. They strand a couple. A highlight grab. Garcia could get it, but Kane was there to bail him out. 12-4 Brewers. We move to the ninth.
With a 12-4 lead. And Brewers Community Foundation will host its 20th annual Famous Racing Sausages 5K race coming up Saturday, July 21st. The proceeds will support Fisher House, a hospitality home for military families receiving health-related services at the Veteran Association hospitals. If you'd like to register online, you can go to brewers.com/5K.
All right, Sophia, thanks, Rock. I know you're involved with the work done at Fisher House.
Yeah. Good folks.
Yes, sir.
There are a lot of very worthy charities out there, including military charities, but that's one to look into. Fisher House for families of servicemen getting, medical treatment at the VA. Good work.
Travis Shaw leads off the ninth here for Milwaukee. Shaw's been on 3 times. He has walked twice. He has scored twice. RBI doubled in the 4th inning. Brewers scored 6 runs in the 4th. And Shaw hits one hard into right field, and Nick Williams runs it down for the first out.
The Brewers were 7 for 9 with runners in scoring position through the first 4 innings, and have not had an at bat with a man in scoring position since. You'll take 7 for 9 any day.
Yes, you will. A lot of noise early in this game. Hernan Perez now will step in and bat for Ryan Braun. Braun with a couple of home runs and 5 driven in tonight. Victor Arano stays on the mound for the Phillies.
And give Hernan an at bat. He got G-Man Choi on deck, so Craig Counsell giving some of his guys on the bench a couple of hacks tonight.
Oh, 1 pitch to Perez. He's hitting for Braun. Choi in the pitcher's spot. It's in on the hands. Broke the bat. Crawford is there. 2 up, 2 down. And now G-Man Choi. With the team here on the road trip. Of course, the first 5 games of it in an American League ballpark. He served as the DH. He's 1 for 13 on the trip. Just remember, as Sophia related earlier tonight, Brandon Woodruff will be the Brewers' starting pitcher on Sunday, the series finale. And Choi sends a line drive into center field, a base hit. Kingery on the shift, unable to flag it down, and a 2-out base runner for Milwaukee.
Yeah, that had to feel good for Choi. As you mentioned, had a rough road trip so far. And through the American League, the White Sox and Cleveland had a number of at-bats. Yeah, got a fastball away and drives it hard into center field. There you go.
Hit number 13 for the Brewers. Here's Manny Pena. And he has 1 of them. That was a 2nd inning double. That was a 2-run inning for Milwaukee. "13 hits for the Brewers, 7 for the Phillies tonight. Both teams have played errorless baseball, but that doesn't mean the Phillies have been flawless. This play on a fly ball, 2-run double for Aguilar. It actually led to 5 more runs scoring in that 4th inning.
Yeah, huge play.
Two and 1 the count. Victor Arano, 3rd man out of the bullpen tonight for Gabe Kapler. Gave up a home run to Yelich in the 8th inning. Three-one pitch to Pena. And that's ball 4. Runners at first and second with 2 men out.
This is when the Brewers have been doing most of their damage tonight with 2 outs. No activity in that Phillies bullpen. No, this is Arano's inning.
All 6 runs in that 4th inning came with 2 men out.
3 runs in first.
Here's Orlando Arcia. RBI single in the second, singled in the fourth, scored a couple of runs. .749 with runners in scoring position. 2 strikes and nothing to Arcia. Arana with the 0-2. A swing and a miss, and that'll do it for the Brewers in the ninth. They lead a couple, but they lead by 8. Good night for the Milwaukee Brewers, looking to finish this one off 12-4. As you see, they scored the first 11 runs in the ballgame as the bats came to life in a big way. 3 home runs, a couple from Ryan Braun, a solo shot from Christian Yelich. And now Jacob Barnes looking to put a ribbon on this one here tonight.
Yeah, Jacob in appearance number 22 today, and at .235 earned run average for Barnes. He last pitched Wednesday against the Indians and was able to get through a scoreless inning, give up a hit, also struck out a batter. 23 strikeouts and 23 innings of work for Jacob Barnes.
Ninth inning, and G-Man Choi stays in the game, and that is him out in left field. Christian Yelich moves over to center, and HP Hernan Perez now out in right. Going after the first pitch is Valentin, sends one in the air to center, and that's Yelich to put it away. 1 out. Well, Barnes, since being called back up, has been good, giving up nothing, just a couple of hits.
Well, even when he got sent down, it wasn't as though he was, the earned run average was high. He was in the 2s. He was just having a real difficult time with his cut fastball, and the Brewers elected to, have him go down to the minor leagues, work on it. And it's been a much better pitch since his return.
Here is Aaron Altair. He's pinch hitting here in the 9th inning for Philadelphia, and he can't catch up to that high fastball. 27-year-old, born in Germany, went to high school in Arizona. 19 homers last year in 107 games for the Phillies. And Barnes misses with the cutter. It evens the count. Lee Chassin with the first 6 1/3. An inning and 2/3 from Matt Albers.
Yeah, a lot of pitches for Albers tonight. Nearly 40.
Two and one the count. Will even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, just a nasty pitch when he puts it there on the corner at the knees. That cut fastball.
Fly ball from Valentin here to start this 9th inning. 2-2 to Altair. And that's a strikeout for Jacob Barnes on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. 2 up and 2 down in the 9th.
Yeah, get him thinking about that cutter and then ride one up in his zone. And literally right down the middle of the plate. That's all about velocity there, and maybe in the back of their mind thinking about that cutter.
Two away with the bases empty for the Phillies in the 9th inning. Now Barnes will face Cesar Hernandez. A bunt single in the 1st, a single to right in the 7th, and a fastball for strike 1. The storyline coming in, which offense was going to break through. The Phillies have been scuffling. It's been a tough trip for the Brewers, but the Milwaukee Bats got going early in this game. The 2-out RBI is a major story.
Man, the Phillies have been so good in this ballpark this year. The Brewers able to keep him down. Good job by Chassin again with the curveball this time tonight. Brewers looking to go 11-3 when Chassin starts a game.
That is something. And the Phillies on the brink of losing at home for just the 10th time. As you mentioned, they've been very good in this ballpark. They've won 19 times. The Brewers are on the brink of getting their 20th road win. This is the 34th game away from Miller Park for the Crew. Barnes ahead in the count. 1-2 to Cesar Hernandez. And here it comes. Another foul ball. If we can finish this off, the Brewers will get their 38th win of the season. They'll improve to 38-25. Again, the 1-2. Cutter missed. Seven strikeouts for Chassin tonight in his night of work. Matt Albers with 3 punch-outs in an inning and 2/3. Barnes has 1 so far in the 9th. Here comes a 2-2. And a liner will drop. Third hit for Hernandez tonight. And a 2-out single extends the game.
And tried to crowd him with a fastball up and in. Not a bad pitch. That was a cutter. I'm not sure if Hernandez thought that ball was going to hook foul or not. It took him a while to get out of the box, but pretty good piece of hitting by Hernandez to keep it alive for Philly.
Hit number 8 for Philadelphia. Here's Odubel Herrera. The red hot start that he had. Mentioned how much he has cooled off in the last few weeks.
Just up there flailing right now. It was very evident his last at bat. Back in the 7th inning, couple of men on. Brewers didn't throw him a strike, and he punched out.
He has struck out in his last 3 at bats. He popped up in the 1st inning. An on base percentage of .431 on May 17th. He's hitting .361. And it's been south of 200 with his batting average since. Runner goes, defensive indifference as Herrera again flailing away, and he's down 0-2. So now let's see if Jacob Barnes can put away Herrera.
Yeah, throw one of those cutters in the dirt here. Put an end to this thing.
Get ready for tomorrow at Jake Arrieta. 2 strikes and nothing to Herrera. He's going to spin out of his helmet. Fly ball and a strikeout to begin this 9th inning, and then a single to right from Cesar Hernandez. Barnes again gets ready for the 0-2 pitch. And Herrera won't bite.
The way it's been going for Herrera, and I thought that would have ended it. He's been swinging at everything.
Ball, 2 strikes. Even .300 batting average now for the Philadelphia center fielder. Here comes the 1-2. Herrera giving Barnes a battle in an 8-run game. Hernandez, the runner at second. What's left of the crowd trying to stir it up a little bit.
And when Hernandez is steal third base, there's nobody there. I'm not sure why he doesn't.
Yeah. And he took second on defensive indifference.
Yeah, Hernandez at second. You know, got Travis Shaw, who's playing, you know, up the middle where the shortstop would be. And the crowd wants him to steal third. I guess why not? Unless Chris Conway will take a throw and tag him out. Third base ump.
The family and close friends left in the ballpark. Yeah, they're urging him on. 2-2 to Odubel Herrera. Hopped him up. Pena off with the mask, and the Brewers take the opener here in Philadelphia. Well, the bats were loud early for the Brew Crew. 3-run homer from Braun. He had 2 bombs tonight. Lorenzo Cain with a couple of hits and a couple of fine defensive plays per usual. Yelich goes deep, and the Brewers win 12-4. Back at it tomorrow. Good start to the weekend for the Brewers. Let's send it to Dario Melendez, ready to go with Brewers Live.